ready to proceed with some of the testimony in the state's case. I'm going to read you an instruction. You are about to hear evidence about the impact of this murder on the family, friends, and community of Amanda Colley and Lindy Dobbins. This evidence is presented to show the victim's uniqueness and as individuals and the resultant loss by Amanda Colley and Lindy Dobbins' death. However, you may not consider this evidence as an aggravating factor. You may hear from a couple of folks in that same area of testimony, and I'm going to give you that same instruction before any of those folks testify. All right, State, call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State will call Tammy Malone.
And Judge, we had previously indicated court that we do maintain our objection to the victim, and I stated that the court's going to now put witnesses that are attended.
So there you go. Ms. Malone, if you'll take the witness stand right here. Right up here. We'll have you remain standing when you get there, so the clerk can enter the you raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Malone. You can be seated. You may proceed with your report.
Thank you. If you would know, please introduce yourself to the jury and let the jurors know how you're related to Amanda Colley.
I'm Tammy Malone, and Amanda was my older sister.
And Your Honor, at this time, State would introduce States A, I believe, without additional objection by the defense.
Now be received as State's next number exhibit.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Malone, I'm going to ask you if you would read a statement that you had prepared for court today.
I had one sister, one person who had the same parents as me, one person in the world who came from the exact same place as me. She was my person. The person that I could talk to about anything, and he took her from me. To my mother's youngest child, my mother, one of the kindest, most gentle creatures that God ever created. And I've watched her struggle with the pain of this loss for 3 years now. My whole family's been broken by this one person and his horrible actions. Where before we were all secure and saying, bye, love you, see you later, now we know that evil can strike at any time, any place, and from any direction. I asked my sister's children, what do you want people to remember about your mommy? My nephew Trey will be 9 next month. He says she was the greatest mommy in the world, and he misses her. He misses going to the fort and the pool with her, and that she taught him how to swim. My niece Avery just turned 7. She said her mommy didn't teach her how to swim, but that she misses seeing her beautiful face, and how whenever Daddy did something mean, Mommy would love on them and hold them and make them feel better. Their lives have been forever changed, and now they have neither parent because of this man's actions. My nephew Dylan is 17. He wants everyone to know that she was a beautiful, loving, and caring aunt, and that he misses spending time with her and their weekend trips. My son Mikey is 18. He misses her, and how she would call every year on his birthday and very loudly sing happy birthday. The whole song, no matter where we were at, he knew that call was coming on his birthday if they weren't together. And also that losing her this way has made him realize that people aren't who you think they are, and not to trust everyone. She was smart, she was funny, she was kind, compassionate, and genuine. Her life mattered. It mattered to so many people in so many different ways, and he took that from all of us. She made friends everywhere she went, and she was genuine with it. There was no wondering about it. If she acted like your friend, she really was. She was loyal. She couldn't stand to see people upset or sad. She would do almost anything to make you smile. Like, seriously, anything. Whenever she had a disagreement with someone and they'd get mad and walk off, she'd follow them right behind them and then get in their personal space. And with this quirky little side smile and a raised eyebrow, and say, "You can be mad at me if you want to, but I love you, and I'm going to stay right here until we work it out." She was joy. Having her around was like having a piece of your childhood back. She had a way of making every little, everyday thing seem magical. It's difficult to put into words, especially 1 to 2 pages, how someone's life and loss of life impacts you. So I have one little story, and then I'm done. I was 8 years older than her. I got out of school at 2:25, and she got out of school around 3. So I'd be home whenever she got off the bus. One day, when Amanda was about 8 years old, she didn't get off the bus on time. So everyone's in a panic. Before anybody could make it home, she comes walking up, wouldn't say where she'd been or what she'd been doing. Well, needless to say, that wasn't going over very well. So finally, she admits that one of her friends got in trouble at school and had to stay after her. And she didn't want them to have to walk home alone. So she stayed with them, and they walked home together. That's who she was as a child, and that's who she was as an adult. All that's left of Amanda are her children, family, and friends, and the memories that we have.
Any examination, Mr. Wood?
No, you.
Thank you, ma'am. State, you call your next witness, please.
State would call Beth Kennedy.
Judge, we maintain our objection to victim impact testimony.
So noted for the record, no rule. Again, folks, along with Kennedy's work, go ahead here. Again, you're about to hear evidence about the impact of this murder on the family, friends, and community of Amanda Colley and Lindy Dobbins. This evidence is presented to show the victims' uniqueness as individuals and the resultant loss by Amanda Colley and Lindy Dobbins' death. However, you may not consider this evidence as an aggravating factor. Thank you, place your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can proceed.
Your Honor, other than the objection previously stated, I don't believe there's further objection to state admitting states B.
We received as the state's next exhibit. You may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. If you would please introduce yourself to the jury.
Beth Kennedy.
And Ms. Kennedy, how did you know Amanda Colley in this case?
We were college friends since 1999.
And did you prepare a statement for court here this morning?
I did.
Okay. You're a man, approach. Ms. Kennedy, I would ask you to read your statement.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to address your court today. As a victim and a friend of Amanda's since 1999, these words have been nearly 3 years in the making and are crucial to my closure. At this time, I would like to provide you with a glimpse of how Amanda impacted my life as well as many others. Almost 3 years ago, we lost our friend, co-worker, neighbor, sister, daughter, aunt, and mother, Amanda Cloninger, in a horrific way. She was taken from us abruptly at 36 years old, the day after her son celebrated his 6th birthday with family and friends. Amanda was an extraordinary mother who made everyday situations magical and protected her children from experiencing a childhood that mirrored the tough circumstances she grew up in. She gloated in the fact that she was chosen to parent Trey and Avery and stood in awe of the children she made and how they were growing up to be kind, respectful, and well-rounded children. She was so grateful for the opportunities that she was able to provide for them. Unfortunately, this time was cut short. Have you ever met someone who changed your life forever? For me and many of her friends, that person was Amanda. She was the epitome of the statement, a person who has never met a stranger. Everyone who crossed her path could instantly feel her warmth and sense her glowing personality. Amanda had countless circles of friends. She loved to dance. She had a singing voice that would give you chills, even when she would make up her own words to the songs. She was one of those people who could always make you feel like you were one of a kind. It was a gift. It was Amanda. In Amanda's eyes, everyone was flawless. She didn't care what color your skin was, how much money was in your bank account, or what mistakes you had made in the past. She accepted who you were and where you were in your life and was proud to call you a friend and have you in her circle. Again, it was a gift. It was Amanda. Our memories, our lives have holes in them now. There are so few memories that don't have some silly saying of Amanda's in them, or some thought of how she helped us, either financially or emotionally, or some anecdote she told that ended with our laughter and her snorting, which was an Amanda trademark. She had a way of cutting through tough situations with a perfect or perfectly hilarious thing to say, and we always left her presence feeling lighter and our stomachs hurting from laughing too much. I know I have never met anyone like Amanda before, and I'm afraid I will never meet someone like her again. Amanda wanted to continue to change the world. She wanted to go to law school and become an advocate for domestic violence. In the midst of all her personal chaos, she mentioned her future plans excitedly, like she had found her true calling at 36 years old. Amanda would have been excellent at helping women who have been made to feel that their voice doesn't matter or isn't worthy. She had a gift of making everyone instantly feel at ease, and that would have been her greatest strength for women who had spent a lot of time living in fear. Even though Amanda is not here on earthly terms, her legacy and memories have not died. Not a single day passes that I don't reach for the phone to call or text my sweet friend, to share a silly story or to ask for advice. When I start feeling sorry for myself, I begin to think about her precious children and what they have endured thus far and how their everyday life is impacted by the choices of their father. Her son will reflect back to his 6th birthday, but he will always remember that his loving mother died violently the day after. And her daughter will never know what it feels like to have her mother take her prom or wedding dress shopping. Each night, Trey and Avery place their lips to the picture of their mom. Their mama will never be able to wrap her children in her arms for us. We want you to know and feel what our lives are like without Amanda, and realize how joyful our lives would be if she was still here. Please think about Amanda and all of the lives she has blessed.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Wood?
David.
Thank you. State for next witness.
State would call William Mosler.
Again, folks, you're about to hear evidence about the impact of this murder on family, friends, and community. Amanda, Colley, and Lindy Dobbins. This evidence is presented to show the victims' uniqueness as individuals and the resulting loss by Amanda, Colley, and Lindy Dobbins' death. However, you may not consider this evidence as an aggravating factor. Sir, raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Mercer. You can be seated.
And judges, we have before, we respectfully maintain our objection to the commitment.
So, for the record, no rule. You may proceed, Ms. Dunn.
Thank you. Without additional objection, I believe at this time, State would introduce State C without further objection.
Now to receive the state's next member exhibit.
Good morning, sir. If you would, please introduce yourself to the jury.
I'm William Mosler. I'm Lindy Mosler Dobbins' father.
And did you prepare a statement for court here this morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm going to ask you at this time to read that statement.
My name is William Mosler, and I am the father of Lindy Mosler Dobbins. This letter is an open letter from our family. Our family did not lose one person in this tragedy. We lost a daughter, a sister, a wife, a mother, a niece, a cousin, and a friend. Lindy was the heart of our family, the one who kept us together, our glue. Words cannot describe what is missing and what we will all miss for the rest of our lives. She was the one you could all depend on, no matter what you needed. A laugh, a shoulder to cry on, or a kick to get you going. When things got tough, she took the world on her shoulders. Lindy was always there to make sure everyone was okay. Lindy was our family member who never forgot a birthday, anniversary, or holiday. She made everyone she knew feel special. And she had a special presence that brought people together. One of the most unselfish people that we knew. Our lives have ever or forever changed. She got us through divorces, births, deaths, and family vacations. She touched everyone she met. She befriended and helped everyone whose path she crossed. If you needed something, she just knew and did her best to help. She was always helping family and friends through crisis. Babysitting friends' kids and volunteering for her son's T-ball team. Lindy's children have had their mother taken away. She will never see her children graduate or get married. Lindy will never hold her grandchildren. Over the last 3 years, we have suffered like no family should have to. We have lost our security, and none of us feel safe anymore. Our family worries all the time. We have nightmares. We will never be the same people we were before Lindy was taken from us. We will forever miss our glue. The community has lost a caring mother who taught religion classes and was a room mother. She positively impacted numerous children in St. Johns County. Our lives have been forever changed over one selfish act, and it's taken away the heart of our family.
Any questions, Mr. Sheila? Yes, sir. State calling next statement.
All right, this time State would call Chris Dobbins.
And again, you want to do the to the victim impact statement.
So that the record overruled. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to hear evidence about the impact of this murder on the family, friends, and community of Amanda Colley and Lindy Dobbins. This evidence is presented to show the victims' uniqueness as individuals and the resultant loss by Amanda Colley and Lindy Dobbins' death. However, you may not consider this evidence as an aggregating factor. Thank you. If you raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Mr. Dobbins, you can be seated.
Thank you, Your Honor, and without additional objection, Your Honor, at this time, I believe State would introduce State's D.
I would receive as the state's next member exhibit. You may proceed when you're ready, Ms. Dunn.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. If you would introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Chris Dobbins, and Lindy was my wife.
Okay, and how long were you and Lindy married?
12 years.
Okay. Did you prepare a statement for court this morning?
I did.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. Read that here.
Wife, mother, daughter, sister, niece, friend, co-worker, volunteer, acquaintance. Just some of the ways that so many people knew and will remember my wife, Lindy Dobbins. Again, my name is Chris Dobbins. Lindy and I were married for 12 years and raising our 3 children, Christopher, 16, Ava, 10, and Patrick, 9. in the Marbella neighborhood before she and her friend Amanda were brutally and senselessly murdered by the defendant on Thursday morning, August 27, 2015. After 3 years, I'm still unable to describe my feelings that morning as I received a call from the St. Johns County School District at 11:41 a.m. stating Ava and Patrick's Elementary School was under a hard lockdown due to criminal activity in the area under the direction of local law enforcement. Obviously not a phone call anyone expects to receive. I immediately started calling and texting Lindy to find out what's going on, but she never answered her phone or replied to any of those texts. I called the Croc store at the St. Augustine Outlet Mall where Lindy worked, only to be told that she had left work early that morning to go help one of her friends. In a panic, I walked out of my meeting, went to my car, and started driving home. I tried calling Lindy a few more times, but she never answered. I tried calling Mill Creek Elementary, only to be told that the school was still on a hard lockdown. I started searching to find my iPhone to see where Lindy's phone was, and it showed her phone was at Amanda's house. I pulled into our neighborhood, Marbella, and as soon as I turned right onto the South Bellagio Drive, I had to park my car because the road was blocked by several cars further down. I walked down the street, saw police tape blocking the road, told an officer standing by my wife's phone and her car were at the house at the end of the street. He asked for my name, and after a few minutes I was introduced to Detective Samantha English, who shared with me the most horrific and unforgettable words I've ever heard. My wife Lindy and her friend Amanda were shot and killed in Amanda's home, and they were still searching for the defendant who fled the scene. After some time and many phone calls to our family to share this unimaginable news, I was driven to Mill Creek Elementary, which was still under lockdown, to bring my children home and share with them this horrific news. Knowing how difficult and unbearable it was for me to hear what Samantha shared with me, now I had to find a way to tell Ava and Patrick. The questions started immediately when they walked them down to the office. What's going on? Why didn't Mommy pick us up? Who is this lady with you? Why did we get to leave school first? Why are the gates locked? And so on. Just trying to keep my composure while not saying anything until we got home. We walked in our front door, sat on our couch in the living room, and I told the kids that the school was locked down today because there was a terrible accident with Mommy and Miss Amanda, and Mommy died. The worst possible thing I could ever imagine having to say, and I'm having to say it to my 9-year-old son and 10-year-old daughter. This was just the beginning of the life-changing, lifelong challenges and hardships we would face together, all because of the irresponsible decisions and actions of the defendant on that Thursday morning. Lindy was a loving and caring wife and mother who enjoyed spending time with our family and friends, and was always the person who brought people together. When we moved to St. Augustine without knowing anyone in the area or having any family close by, Lindy created a neighborhood mommy group to host events that would bring mothers and their children together at the pool, playground, at our home, to meet new people and to make new friends. She also organized neighborhood events to meet new people, help new residents feel welcome moving into our neighborhood, and this is how she met Amanda and they became closest of friends. Lindy was always active at the kids' schools, routinely volunteering for events, being a room mom, chaperoning field trips, meeting gigs for lunches during the school day. She was also actively involved as a volunteer for Ava's neighborhood swim team and was a team mom for Patrick's baseball teams for several seasons. All of those vacancies that must now be filled by others because Lindy was taken from us way too soon. And although she was not Christopher's mother, they developed an incredibly close relationship over the years. And even more so when Christopher moved in with us during his freshman year in high school. Lindy was even the one who pushed him to get his permit because he was extremely hesitant and took him driving to practice for his test. But again, because she was taken away from us too soon, she was not with us to see him get his driver's license. But I know Christopher was inspired by her when he passed his test. We would spend weeks every summer traveling home to Buffalo, New York, spend time with family and friends, making several stops along the way to meet up with family and friends that we have known and met over the years. Every day of vacation was filled with something to do, people to see, places to go, because Lindy always wanted to spend as much time as possible with family and friends. She was the life of any party with her welcoming smile and enduring laugh, which are just two of the things we will never see or hear again. I'm sure there's an endless number of people who could come up here in front of you and speak about Lindy's compassion, understanding how caring she was, but I think nothing speaks louder than her actions on that morning of August 27, 2015, although I know her support of Amanda didn't just start that day. She was one of Amanda's best friends, one of her supporters, a confidant that Amanda loved and trusted. And even though she knew of the challenges Amanda was facing and that Lindy was putting herself in harm's way, she never hesitated to respond to Amanda's needs immediately that morning to support her through her most difficult time. Of course, I wish Lindy wouldn't have answered that call that morning, left work that morning, or gone to Amanda's house that morning, but Lindy has never been someone to turn away a friend in need. At the beginning, I spoke about how Lindy was a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a niece, a friend, a co-worker, a volunteer, and an acquaintance. I've been able to share just a glimpse of what Lindy represented to us as a wife, a mother, and to Amanda as a friend. But what makes her loss even more impactful are all of her relatives and the countless number of people that had known or met Lindy during her short 39 years here that will never get to see her, speak with her, or laugh with her ever again. This life-changing event not only took away two beautiful, loving, caring mothers from her family, but it took two incredible women away from everyone that I've ever met and prevented them from having a positive impact on the lives of countless others. When people experience a loss or a tragic event, you hear them talk about getting used to their new normal. Well, here's a look into what our family's new normal is like since Lindy's death. Lindy's birthdays and Mother's Days are celebrated by releasing balloons at the Memorial Park in Mirabello that was dedicated to Lindy and Amanda shortly after their deaths. Holidays are not celebrated with the same joy and enthusiasm they were in the past. Little League baseball games are attended with an empty blue chair. For Lindy to sit in and watch Patrick play. Ava's swim team t-shirts were designed with a Swimming for Lindy logo to remember Ava's mom. Kids' birthdays are celebrated with an empty seat and void that will never be filled. Lindy was not there for Ava and Patrick's elementary school graduations. Christopher missed out on having one of his biggest supporters at his high school graduation and being dropped off at a storm for his first year of college. Lindy is missing at every hockey, football, and baseball game that we attend as a family. Free time we may have had before is now spent in therapy sessions and support groups. Volunteering at sporting events has been replaced by volunteering at domestic violence centers. There are no more hugs, kisses, or laughs shared. There's a sense of fear and insecurity that lingers, knowing that someone can act so heinously. On my way home, see you soon, or I love you, are words I'll never hear from Lindy again. I think that gave me just a brief glimpse into who will truly be affected for the rest of their lives by the acts of violence that occurred on that morning of August 27, 2015. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share what Lindy meant to me, our children, and to everyone who knew her, and the significant impact her loss has had and will continue to have on all of our lives.
Any questions, Mr. Thank you, sir. the state.
No, Your Honor.
Any announcement of arrest at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the state counsel resting its case in chief for this portion of the trial. That's all the evidence and testimony to hear in the state's case in chief for this portion of the trial. We're going to go ahead and take our break at this point. It's 10:20, so I'll have you again go to the second floor jury lounge. If you want to step outside and get some fresh air, that's fine. But plan on being back at 11:45. That'll be 10:45. So be back in the jury lounge at 10:45. Again, as I instructed you during the earlier phase of the trial, please do not discuss this case with anybody during the break, amongst yourselves or with anybody else for that matter. Don't do any research of any type. Leave your notes here in the courtroom, and again, 10:45, we'll see your face back here. Thanks, folks. Anything we need to take up before we break? Mr. Wood?
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
Anything we need to take up before we break?
No.
State? All right, we'll be in recess until 10:45. Again, everybody remain in the courtroom until you're cleared to exit the court.